Hey everybody, it's Professor Z. I have the coronavirus module up, and I just want to walk you through it and give you an overview of it and just talk a little bit about the expectations. So, just to review, class for here on out, we're going to be online. You're going to be able to work at your own pace. You're going to see that I do have due dates in for assignments. Those are suggested due dates. So if it says April 5th, I'm telling you, like if you want to just kind of be on pace over the course of the rest of the semester, it would be good to have it done by then. I also understand that everyone's lives have been kind of turned upside down. So if you need more time, I've also put a date where this assignment is open until, and almost everything's going to be open until April 26th, which would still give me enough time to grade it before the end of the semester. And you can talk to me about that if you have questions. Um, Everything's going to be in the English 101 Canvas page. Just to reiterate, I had mentioned that before in the overview video. And I'll soon be posting, making one-on-one conferences available in Zoom. I still haven't set up a phone number, but I will soon. You can always email. You can send me a message through Canvas. There are multiple ways to get in touch with me, and get in touch with me however best suits your needs. I want to do a quick overview of the module, and then I'm going to walk you through it. So it's, usually I do climate change in Philadelphia, but I had a feeling that we might have a difficult time concentrating on that this semester. So I just switched it up to stick in the natural sciences, but we're going to look at the coronavirus. We're going to look at COVID-19. And we're still going to be learning a lot of the same strategies for how to read in the science disciplines. Okay. And we're going to be doing some of the same writing skills of synthesizing information. So you're going to see the module may look big and intimidating, but it's in sections, and I've told you how long each section is going to take, and you'll see when we walk through it. But let me just give you a quick overview. So the first part is going to talk about what the scientific method is and what some of the criticisms are of the scientific method, and it's going to each one of these sections is going to have one or two assignments at the end of it. So in the first section, it's going to talk about the scientific method. It's going to talk about how some viruses and vaccines have been discovered, and then it's going to ask you to do a short writing assignment about that. The second section is going to be about understanding information when it's given to you in charts and graphs and tables. And you're then going to have two discussion threads in which you're going to have to talk about some charts. And the next two sections actually, are going to be about evaluating sources. This is something that's going to be increasingly important, especially as you move into 102. So I start doing more of this towards the end of the 101 class. And what we're going to do is we're going to look at some sources that give us information about viruses and how viruses work. And we're going to compare and contrast those sources. And then we're going to look at some source material around the coronavirus. I'm sure a lot of you right now are getting a lot of information coming at you from a lot of different sources. So I want you to be good at evaluating these sources and knowing when a source is reliable and credible and when you're being fed misinformation. And that's going to lead us up to our longer writing assignment, which is going to be an essay in which you're going to compare and contrast Philadelphia's responses to two past pandemics that have hit the city with our current response to the coronavirus. Okay, so that's just an overview, and I want to show you the module itself. So this is what it should look like for you. You'll also notice I've added a Zoom tab over here on the left-hand side, which when you click on it, it's going to allow you to use Zoom once I set those conferences up. So here's the module, and just to scan through it, you're going to see it's got like 5 sections, right? Scientific method. I've told you I think this might take you 2 hours. Charts, graphs, and tables, same deal. Viruses, evaluating sources. These two sections both really have to do with evaluating sources. And then the last section, which is I've said 4 hours because I'm just building in time to write the essay. These readings aren't particularly long, but that's what you're building up to, and then you've got a post test. So what you're going to notice is, obviously do the pre-tests first. They're short, and same deal with all of our past pre-tests. You get full credit just for completing them. A lot of these links, it may look like, oh my God, that's a lot of links, but a lot of them are just like a chart to look at really quickly, such as this, which is going to just show you it's a flow chart of the scientific method. There are a couple of short videos to watch of Neil deGrasse Tyson talking about the scientific method. And then there are a few readings. None of them are particularly long, and they're all on the web. So I don't necessarily expect you to be annotating, but you should take notes. And it might make sense first, before you start each section, to look at what the task is that you're going to need to do at the end of the section, right? So here your writing task is going to be about polio and the scientific method, where you're going to be asked to make a claim about whether or not the vaccines were developed through the use of the scientific method, okay? And the readings that you're going to do in this section are going to be about vaccines and how they were developed. And so what I'm asking you to do is reflect on that using what you have come to understand about the scientific method to talk about if these guys have used it to develop their vaccines. So that's the first section in the module. The second section, there will also be some videos, like little lectures, probably in a couple of these sections. I haven't put them up yet, but there will be like a short video of me talking about tables, graphs, and charts. And then this is a web page where it's going to talk about tables, graphs, and charts and infographics. And I just wanted to point out this page at the bottom is, there's nothing to do here. It's simply to read to understand charts. But at the bottom, it'll say next, but you can stop. You just have to kind of go through this first page. And I'm going to do a video lecture over this page also. But that's just going to introduce you to tables and charts and infographics and how to read them. And, oops, let me go back. And then you're going to have a discussion where you're going to have to look at a chart and try and make sense of it without much information, okay? So it's going to be a discussion post. And then after that, there's another one where I have some charts and you get to pick a chart and you have to do an explanation of what the chart is. The third section, you're going to read these two articles. One's an article, one's an excerpt from a textbook. And then you have to do a short response where you compare and contrast the two sources. And after that, in the evaluating sources section, so this one is more general about sources and about viruses. It does talk a little bit about coronavirus. In this section, it's going to be more specifically just about coronavirus. So these first three readings are just going to talk to you about how to evaluate sources. They're short readings. And then this gives you some example of some fake news that is making its rounds on the internet regarding coronavirus. And then I'm going to ask you to find something, to share something that you've come across maybe in one of your social media feeds or on the internet, where I want you to share something and I want you to evaluate it using the ideas and concepts from these articles, okay? So each of these assignments is, it's a short, like one paragraph, one well-developed paragraph kind of thing, okay? And you'll see when you go into each of the assignments, at the end of each section, it's going to have directions and tell you exactly what you're being asked to do. So what I would do for each section, first I would look at the assignments, then I would go back and do the work leading up to the assignment so that I could take notes on the readings as I'm going along. And then the last section is going to talk about, there's a couple of readings. They're not super long. One is about when yellow fever, which was an epidemic, hit Philadelphia. And then when the Spanish flu hit Philadelphia in 1918. And then we're going to look at the number of cases so far with coronavirus in Philadelphia and how Philadelphia has been responding to the coronavirus. And you're going to use all of that information to write an essay about Philadelphia's response to different pandemics. Okay. So for this essay, you're going to be asked to compare and contrast Philadelphia's response to yellow fever and Spanish flu with its response to coronavirus. And I'm going to do a separate video that talks in more detail about this assignment, talks about how you might structure it. But I wanted to introduce it here in this introductory video so that you understand what we're building to. So that's an overview of the module. I think that you should plan to take about 2 weeks to finish this module. I think if you did 1 hour of work a day over the next 2 weeks, you would get everything done. Some of you may prefer to do it in larger chunks and to finish it quicker, and you're more than welcome to do that. As I said, the due dates are flexible. You see most of them I put April 5th for a lot of for the beginning of the module, and then for the major writing assignment I said April 12th. So that would put you out a few weeks from where we are now. If you have questions, obviously get in touch with me. I hope that you find this module kind of informative and engaging about kind of what's happening in the world right now. And I hope you're all safe. And I look forward to working with you guys and seeing you in our virtual classroom. Okay. Talk to you soon. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye.